Hey everyone, welcome to For Car's Sake. Have you ever wondered what an engine would look like if you just took off the head and left it sort of to the elements for a few years? Well, this is the type of things that happens. So here is my new project car. It's an Integra DC4 with a pretty rare B18 B2 in it. So for those who are not familiar with this, don't be shocked, because this only came in a very small amount of Integras, early Integras, into Australia in the mid 90s. So yeah, this is a pretty rare engine as a result. Most of the other ones have the B18 B1, I believe. The previous owner pulled the head apart and then just left it like this for years before I picked it up as a project car. Let me show you what the head looks like. So as you can see, this is the head. So unfortunately it's just been left in the boot of the car, and during that time moisture must have collected in the base of the boot, and the entire head has kind of rusted and oxidized, which was pretty interesting, because on the side that faced down, it still kind of looked normal, you know. As a result, this head, I'm pretty sure, is paperweight now. This is what the valve cover looks like as well. So yeah, a bit of a shame. So the plan is to pull the engine out, pull the gearbox out, sell them for parts, and then decide what I do with the rest of the vehicle. Alright, so here I am starting to pull the engine out. Today I've actually got my mate here to help me, give me a hand. It's so valuable to have a second pair of hands when you're pulling an engine, especially when it's the time of actually pulling it out. Right now we are simply taking off everything we can that is connected to the car, including all the wiring, loom, unhooking everything to make sure there's nothing that holds on. And one of the common things that people normally forget is always like 1 or 2 earth that goes directly to the chassis in the back or somewhere. So as you can see, my mate is doing the wiring on the left while I am working on getting the radiator off, because the radiator and the fan actually takes up quite a lot of space at the front there. And by taking it out, it just avoids damaging it, because I still haven't quite decided what to do with this car just yet. I'm still sort of tossing between just selling the rolling shell complete or actually trying to stick an engine in it. What do you guys think I should do? Leave me a comment down below. So right now, as you can see, I'm removing the big bolt from the T-bracket behind the engine. And I just want to say how nice it is to have an air ratchet or something like an air ratchet to help remove the bolts. And here I'm just removing the AC pump as well. And after I've removed the pump, I actually removed the AC bracket as well. So here I am working on the side. As you can see behind the wheel hubs, this car definitely sat around for a long time. Which is also why, to my surprise, the drive shaft wasn't seized into the hub. So that was good. Now I'm just removing the split pin, and in order to take the drive shaft out, I find it easier to remove the upper control arm. That way there's just more leeway for the drive shaft to come out. And it also helps to loosen up the brake line that is mounted onto the knuckle to allow the top to just open up a little bit. As you can tell, I'm working at night, so it's always a bit of a struggle when I need to do something like cracking the ball joint open, because with the hammering, etc., as well as using all the air tools, it does create a bit of noise. But luckily I have really good and understanding neighbors. Hey guys, so to get rid of this bitch pin here, what I do is I literally take this bolt from the headers or the exhaust and punch it through. Basically it fits perfectly, and I found this to be the easiest way to to get this little sucker out. There we go. So just a quick update. All the wiring and loom etc. has been taken off, apart from the one that stays with the engine block. And on top of that, the bottom mounts have been taken off. So now the only thing holding the engine up is just this mount and this mount over here. The T-bracket is still in the back, but the big bolt has been removed. So literally, we are getting close to pulling this engine and gearbox out. The one problem that I'm having right now is this left-hand side drive shaft. For those that know, there is a mid shaft in the middle, and this side is always a pain in the butt trying to get it to come out. So as soon as that is out, I'll be able to lift the engine and the gearbox out. So fast forward another hour or two, the engine is out, as you can see. Unfortunately, the space was really limited, and with the engine hoist as well as the jack stand, I just couldn't get the camera into any good position without getting in the way. But long story short, the way we dropped the engine was we actually physically dropped it onto the ground on top of a plywood, and then jacked up the car and literally dragged the engine out. Because the head is off the block, it's not that tall, and it just made sense, especially because in the end I couldn't actually get that drive shaft off the mid shaft. So we just dropped it to the ground, jacked the car up, or the shell up, pulled it out from the wheel well of the vehicle, and then just chucked it onto the dolly, as you can see.